Good afternoon. We'll bring the Ways and Means Committee back to order, and we will go back to our agenda, and we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 334, which is a measure that requests that the Nevada Supreme Court study and adopt rules governing procedures for notifying defendants and persons who are issued a civil infraction citation of certain information, and will invite Assembly Member Anderson to the table. $234.
Good afternoon, Ways and Means members and Chair Monroe Moreno. Thank you for scheduling the bill hearing for 234. My name is Nathan Anderson, and it is my honor to represent Assembly District 30. I can go into a whole bunch of information. I've got like a 50-slide PowerPoint as you requested, but I think I'll skip instead and just go straight to what the large issues are. Recognizing this is the budget, not the policy, I guess I will go with that. The intent of Assembly Bill 234 is to protect access to cancer screenings for Nevada Medicaid beneficiaries and increase access to all evidence-based colorectal cancer screening options to improve screening rates, decrease late-stage cancer detection, and ultimately save lives. It would expand screenings for colorectal cancer to include at-home DNA stool testing, such as Cologuard, and the expansion to at-home DNA stool testing aligns with the latest recommendations from the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force. AB 234 triggered a significant fiscal note from the Department of Health and Human Services that would be impacting the general fund. And due to the awareness of our budget constraints, the Nevada Cancer Coalition is offering the amendment that removes that expansion of colorectal cancer screenings, which will remove the fiscal note. I believe the representatives from the department are here to verify the fiscal note would be zero. But I do also want to make sure it's really clear. It's important to ensure that all Nevadans have access to the most effective cancer screening tools in order to find cancer sooner and start providing treatment as early as possible. When I talked with representatives of the Nevada Cancer Coalition regarding how to move the bill forward, once we saw that fiscal note, they understood that their funds are very difficult, but this continues to be a priority for them, and we'll continue to try to work on figuring out some ways for us to get the coverage of DNA stool testing for colorectal cancer to occur. Nevada is the one. There are now, I believe, there are 5 states which do not cover it, that does not provide that DNA stool testing. Alabama just recently added to it. So appreciate your time. We'll do my best to answer any questions, and I can also ask my phone a friend to verify that there are no more fiscal notes.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Anderson, and please forgive me for the description of the bill. There was a typo on the form. So, and if your phone a friend can come to the table to testify to the fact that with the amendment that's presented today, that the fiscal note has been removed.
Yes.
Hello, phone a friend.
Chair, Committee Member Stacy Weeks for the record, Nevada Medicaid. Yes, there is no fiscal note with this amendment.
Perfect. Thank you. Members, any questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you. We'll invite to the table anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 234. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Carrie Harrington. I'm the Executive Director for Nevada Cancer Coalition. Currently, Nevada Revised Statutes provides protection and coverage for insured patients for all evidence-based cancer screenings, including the newest lung cancer screening per Senate Bill 387. While Nevada Medicaid currently provides breast, cervical, colorectal, lung, and prostate cancer screenings, only breast and cervical cancer are clearly stated in NRS. So thus, this bill protects all cancer screenings for Medicaid recipients, ensuring parity with our insured population. We very much support this bill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. My name is Sabrina Schnur, Sabrina Schnur, and I'm here today on behalf of the Nevada Public Health Association. We are in support, and we would like to ditto the Cancer Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. Todd Inglesby, representing the professional firefighters in Nevada. Ditto, we support too as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas. We will go to our phone line and broadcast. Do we have anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 234?
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 234, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, there are no callers for support.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 234, I invite you to the tables. Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go back to the phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 234.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 234, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, there are no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We'll move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 234, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one in Las Vegas, we'll go one last time to the phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 234.
To provide testimony in neutral for Assembly Bill 234, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, there are no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. And we'll ask the sponsor, who is shaking her head no, for closing remarks. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 234. And we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 243. Pardon me? Assembly Bill 243 establishes certain partial tax exemptions for surviving spouses of members of the Armed Forces of the United States who were killed in the line of duty. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. I am still Brian Hibbets, and I still represent Assembly District 13, at least for the time being. Assembly Bill 243 relates to surviving spouses of service members killed in the line of duty and offers them the same property tax deductions that a service member would have if they had a 100% disability rating from the VA. And there is a conceptual amendment that Assemblymember Backus submitted, which I do consider friendly. Thank you very much. And just make some technical changes to the wording in order to be a little more specific. Happily stand for questions.
Assemblymember Backus.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Hibbets, for working on this. I know when looking at some of these fiscal notes, even though they look like zeros, a lot of them were undetermined. But being familiar with seeing this bill presented in revenue, we understood that there could be a finite quantity of our Gold Star members. And so thank you for working on this to get this cleared up. I know on the site, I think that we have over 600, close, I think it's 693 or 663 Gold Star individuals whose hometown was Nevada. And so, and I think we had testimony in revenue that it could be 53, just depending on the age group of those who have died serving our country, whether it was in World War II or the various other combats that are recognized. And I think it's appropriate on Memorial Day. So thank you for bringing this bill, and thank you for making that a friendly amendment. So I think with that, that should have cleared up some of the fiscal notes or given known quantity of what it could be.
Brian Hibbs for the record, not to get too far into the policy itself, but just for the committee's understanding, this applies only to the spouse or registered domestic partner of the service member killed in the line of duty. It does not go any further in contiguity, whatever that word is, that I can never say. It does not go any further than that.
And would that spouse have to be the spouse that they were married to? That spouse, can they get remarried to someone else and still get this benefit?
Brian Hibbs for the record, they would have to have been married or registered domestic partners at the time of the service member's death, and they cannot have been remarried.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions? I thank you and Assemblymember Bacchus for working on the amendment for this bill. Members, any other questions? Not seeing any. If you go ahead and step back, and we'll invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 243. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. This is the high-speed time of the session, right? So I'll dispense with most of my commentary, which you've all heard. I'm the chairman of the United Veterans Legislative Council, representing nearly 250,000 veterans, and we endorse this bill entirely. We always want more, but don't feel bad for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 243.
Testify in support of Assembly Bill 243. Please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Chapman, Lynnchapman, and I'm a 50-year member of the American Legion Auxiliary. You know, we should be finding ways to thank all of our veterans for all they have done for us. After all, freedom is not free. We should show they and their families some gratitude for all they've done for us. You know, we find money for everyone else, all their projects, all their programs, and help for all their families and businesses. So why can't we find the money to help these people, these families? When someone has made the biggest sacrifice a person can make, we need to find ways to help them, their families that are left behind. And I think we should do the right thing, and I think we should support our veterans and their families for all that they've done for us and pass this bill. Vote yes on AB 243. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
Chair, there are no additional callers in support.
Thank you. Then we'll move to opposition. Is there anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 243? Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go once again to our phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 243.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 243, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 243, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we will go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 243.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 243, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. Assembly member, as a child of a veteran, I thank you for bringing the bill. I know a number of us are, I'm an Air Force brat. There's some other military brats up here and others who have served. Thank you so much. He's shaking his head no on closing comments. So with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 243. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 251, which revises provisions relating to the inspection of meat and poultry, and invite Assemblymember Koenig to the table. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Chair. A little bit worried there. My phone a friend walked in after you called the bill hearing, but he was watching. My name is Greg
He's always
Koenig.
in the right place at the right time.
Greg Koenig, represent Assembly District 38, which is pretty much from Fallon to Tonopah. Lots of jackrabbits and tumbleweeds, and 75,000 people scattered in between there somehow or some way. So this bill, I think, helps my rural constituents. What it does is it creates a mobile meat packing trailer where they can, instead of having to, because a lot of these rural and especially the ultra rurals communities don't have access to meat packing plants. There isn't any in their communities, or sometimes even with hours from where they are. And so by being able to take the meat packing trailer to them, it gives them access to fresh meat, and I think can be a real benefit to us. I can have a fiscal note on there that I think we got worked out, but we can turn the time over to Mr. Goycochea, and he can answer some of those questions.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Director Goycochea, for the record, Nevada Department of Agriculture. Section 4, as amended, does take care of our fiscal note. You'll see in there that it is contingent upon on decision units in the budget. Those were, in fact, approved in our final budget, so we will remove our fiscal note as long as we can get SB 466 rolling. Everything will continue to move the way it is, and we will have this available at no additional cost to the agency.
Thank you. And do we know where SB 466 is right now? Is it in Senate Finance? Has it been processed?
Madam Chair, Director Goycochea, for the record, 466 was heard in Health and Human Services on the Senate side, and it is still there.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. So, Director Goycochea, if the SB 466 does not move, would that impact this bill then fiscally?
Excuse me, Director Goycochea, for the record, Madam Chair, through you to the Assembly member, if 466 does not move, we will still be able to meet the needs. There will be a wait. Unfortunately, we will not be able to respond on a 24-hour notice as we had hoped to be able to, but we will schedule those. We do have 3 meat inspectors in place now for the agency.
Members, any other questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you so much. We'll ask you to step back, and we'll invite to the tables anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 251.
Michael Flores on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno. I want to thank the sponsor who we've worked with for a long time on this. We're in full support. And I wasn't here on Saturday. I just want to mention we were very grateful for Mr. Leisner's hairline, because I wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Chair, members of the committee, for the record, my name is Doug Busselman. I'm the Executive Vice President of Nevada Farm Bureau. We're anxious to get this program operating as we are able to get more meat production going forward, and we support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else here in Carson City to testify in support, and not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas. We will go to the phone line to see if there's anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 251.
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 251, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support testimony.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 251, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go once more to our phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 251.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 251, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition testimony.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 251, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table either here in Carson City or Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 251.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 251, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much, and we will invite the sponsor back, and he's shaking his head no. So with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 251. Okay, the next bill that we will open up for a hearing will be Assembly Bill 296, which will be followed by Assembly Bill 442, because they have the same bill sponsor. So we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 296, which revises various provisions relating to motor vehicles. And welcome Assembly Member Watts to the table.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Howard Watts, representing Assembly District 15 in Clark County. I'm glad to present Assembly Bill 296 for your consideration today. This bill essentially does three different things. One, it would allow the DMV to contract with a third party to offer installment payments for folks paying their car registration fees so that they don't have to pay them all at once. It would also authorize the DMV to offer digital license plates at some point in the future. And finally, it would take a mileage gathering pilot program that was a pilot and make it permanent so that we can continue to gather that information. With respect to the fiscal note, there was one from the DMV on the first version of the bill. With the reprint, the DMV has indicated that they are now neutral on the bill, or that their fiscal note has been removed. Essentially, what the amendment is doing is providing them the flexibility to make sure that their ongoing transformation effort, once it is at the point that it can support these changes, that is when they would incorporate those into their system. I do have a policy amendment that I have provided that relates to the limits on any fees that could be charged to any customers that choose to pursue an installment loan. As with some other bills, I just wanted to make sure that we can try and get that incorporated as soon as possible, given where we're at in the session. Glad to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Thank you so much. If DMV is in the room, if they could come to the table and testify to the changes to their fiscal note, that would be great. Good afternoon.
Hello, Chair Committee members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We are neutral on this bill, and just as the Assembly member said, the latest amendment removes the impact of our fiscal note, so it is now a zero. We don't have to program this into our own old system, and we are very thankful. Thanks to the bill sponsor for working with us on it.
Thank you so much for that. And you stated you will not have to program it to your old system. Can we anticipate any future fiscal impacts to DMV because of this piece of legislation?
Sean Sever, DMV. I don't believe so, Chair. I believe we can work that out in our DTE transformation.
Perfect. Thank you. Assembly Member Bacchus.
Thank you so much, Chair. And I know I raised this in growth and infrastructure, but I'm still hoping, Mr. Sever, that there's some sort of credit of time for the amount of time that it would have taken to have stopped gathering the mileage for the pilot program, as Assemblymember Watts is making it permanent. So hopefully there's like a little credit of time that it takes for programming that we can bring back for some extra work you all may have to do.
Members, any other questions? All right, not seeing any. I thank you both. And I will invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 296. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brian Reeder speaking on behalf of the Nevada Contractors Association, that's NCA, and also on behalf of Reviver, that's REVIVER, just urging your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Sorry, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Andy McKay, I'm Executive Director of Nevada Franchise Auto Dealers Association. Just want to make sure we put our support on the record on this bill, both with respect, well, I should say all three parts. The pilot program, the fee aspect or the registration aspect, but most importantly, the digital license plate element. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alexis Motorex with the Nevada Chapter Associated General Contractors, here in support of AB 296, in particular Section 6, with the removal of the sunset on the collection of odometer readings. This information is critical as we continue to explore ideas to equitably and sustainably fund our highways. While not necessarily a fiscal issue for the general fund, if we stop collecting this data, it could have a detrimental impact on the highway fund in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas. We will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 296.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 296, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 296, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line and see if there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 296.
Testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 296, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there is anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 296, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we will go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 296.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 296, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. We'll ask the sponsor of the bill if you have any closing remarks, and he is shaking his head no. So we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 296. And we will move on and open the hearing for Assembly Bill 442, which is a measure that revises provisions relating to grants.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Once again, for the record, Howard Watts, representing Assembly District 15 in Clark County. I will now present Assembly Bill 442. Essentially, this is looking to improve the administration of grants from state agencies to nonprofits in two ways. First, looking to promote the use of advance payment to ensure that nonprofits have the cash flow to carry out the work that we're hoping to partner with them to do, as well as prompt payment to ensure that once a complete invoice has been submitted, that it gets paid to the nonprofit in a timely manner. There were multiple fiscal notes on this bill as it touched basically every state agency, and there were concerns that were brought up. I want to thank both the United Way of Southern Nevada as well as Nevada Grant Lab for assisting in reaching out to get some more information from the agencies and help craft an amendment, which you should all have before you, that is responsive to some of those concerns. There's a lot in it, but I can boil it down. Essentially, one of the concerns was that the original bill would have assessed an interest penalty if payment was not made within 30 days, essentially. That has been removed from the bill. What we are keeping is reporting, and so this will ensure that if there are any circumstances where that payment is not made within 30 days, they will provide a written notice to the nonprofit of why that was the case, and then they shall submit a report to the Governor's Finance Office, and that will be transmitted to the Interim Finance Committee so that we can understand what's going on. This, I think, strikes a balance of ensuring that there's some accountability and there's some data for us, and then we can evaluate potential future policy without putting financial penalties in place right away on our state agencies. The other portion of the bill related to advance payment. What we've done is really transition this to the Office of Federal Assistance, who is doing tremendous work both with our state agencies as well as our nonprofit partners to look at existing policies and procedures from our state grant-making entities and help provide some guidance on how they can move forward with incorporating advance payment where it makes sense. I think this is a great fit because they are also doing work with nonprofits, and I think can help start to bridge that gap of making sure that nonprofits have the policies, procedures, and experience where we can have the trust that they can handle an advance payment and manage and account for that properly, and then helping state agencies figure out when and where that might be appropriate. We had already made the language, it wasn't completely required, but it said to the greatest extent possible. This is pulling it back further to essentially just have the Office of Federal Assistance provide technical assistance to help agencies see where they may be able to incorporate this. And so as a result of those changes, the sense that there was going to be a requirement for advance payment and the potential interest penalties were what were really driving fiscal concerns among state agencies. So we have got a range of updated fiscal notes and email correspondence indicating that with these changes to the bill, those fiscal notes will be removed. We have I don't think all, but we have several of the agencies here who can speak to that. I have an email from the Division of Emergency Management, which I don't think was, at least as of this morning, was not able to attend, indicating that if this amendment is adopted, this will remove the fiscal impact that they had put forward on the bill. And I will now turn it over to you, Chair, to help call up different phone a friends to confirm that all I'm saying is correct. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you so much. I think I've had a grants bill every session since I have been here trying to modernize our grant system in the state. So there are a number of fiscal notes. So every agency that knows you put a fiscal note on this bill, I invite you to the table to let us know how the conceptual amendment that's been submitted will affect your fiscal note and hopefully take it to zero. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Steve Canavero, Interim State Superintendent, Public Instruction, Nevada Department of Education, Chair, members of the committee, and indeed, thank you so much to the sponsor for working with us. And the conceptual amendment does remove the department's fiscal note.
Thank you. Go ahead.
James Settlemeyer, Director of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. We greatly appreciate working with Assemblyman Watts to alleviate the concerns we had. Originally, we had 2 FTEs to create an audit team to make sure we were not in violation of this. The amendment initial, and then with this now updated amendment, resolves our concerns by not necessarily, by categorizing it to only real property. Because we do conservation easements, the interest in property created a lot of concerns when this would trigger. Additionally, the concept of having it go to actually being invoiced is kind. It's rather interesting how many people out there wish funds and then never invoice us, and then we would be in trouble. That seemed problematic. So again, this does reduce our fiscal note for Department of Conservation and Natural Resources to zero, and we do appreciate working with the sponsor.
Thank you. By chance, do you have emails or anything from the other agencies that aren't in the room? And I don't see anyone at the table down south on this bill.
Thank you, Chair. So there were 2 fiscal notes that were zero, cannot be determined from the Controller's Office and the Attorney General's Office. So those were not updated, but again, there was no indication that there was going to be a fiscal impact from either of those agencies. I do have an email. I did, I think, forward it earlier today from the Division of Emergency Management. They originally had a $146,929 fiscal note for a grant analyst. With this updated amendment, that fiscal note has been removed. Oh, let's see. The Housing Division indicated that with this amendment, their fiscal impact has been removed, and I have a copy of that. Let's see, we do have one from OSIT that says that they can remove their fiscal note. One from the SPCSA indicating that with the interest penalty removed, there would be no fiscal note for them. Tourism and Cultural Affairs also does have an email indicating that removing the penalties would remove their fiscal impact. We have an email from the Department of Public Safety indicating that their fiscal note concerns were addressed. I don't remember if they actually got, I think they did get an updated unsolicited fiscal note uploaded as well to that effect. All right, we just heard from the Department of Education, and yes, here I have my email from the Division of Emergency Management.
Perfect. Members, any questions? Not seeing any. Thank you so much for getting those emails. And I know you've probably sent them over. If you could just shoot them to me again so we can put them in the file so we'll have them
Absolutely.
for our records. That will be wonderful.
Thank you, Chair.
And I will ask you to take a step back, and we will invite to the table anyone that is here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 442. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Chase Gonfiantini, Gonfiantini, here on behalf of LVGEA, and we are just wanting to take this opportunity to thank the bill sponsors for bringing forward this important piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Taylor Avery, Taylor, and I'm the Manager of Political Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber is in support of the fiscal policy of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the United Way of the Northern Nevada and the Sierra, as well as the Children's Cabinet. Both organizations very much support AB 442 in its amended version, and we hope to see this program over time become something that good, high-quality, well-known nonprofit organizations can partner with the state to make programs really work for the state of Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Sarah Adler, appearing as Sarah Adler, who has lived in Nevada for 42 years, and I have served on nonprofit boards, small, medium, and very large. And I would like to ditto what Tom Clark just said. This is, in its original conception, absolutely necessary. We rely upon nonprofits to do so much of the good work in this state, but we certainly understand where the bill has come to today. Thank you very much.
Marco Rauda, MARCO RAUDA, representing Green Our Planet and Jobs for American Graduates, and we are in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and not having anyone at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line. Do we have anyone joining us that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 442?
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 442, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support testimony.
Of course. Thank you so much. We will go to opposition. Do we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 442? And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go again to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 442.
To provide testimony in opposition to Assembly Bill 442, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition testimony.
Thank you so much. And we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 442, I invite you to the table. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go one last time to our phone line to see if there's anyone who's joined us that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 442.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 442, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers to provide neutral testimony.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking at the sponsor of the bill. He's shaking his head no, so we'll have no closing remarks. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 442. Moving on and taking these next two out of order, there will be Assembly Bill 472, followed by Assembly Bill 494. So if you're here to present Assembly Bill 472 and you happen to be in the overflow, I invite you to come over to the main room. It's going to be Assembly Member Mosca. Okay. Assembly Bill 472 revises provisions relating to educational personnel, and we will open the hearing and welcome Assembly Member Mosca to the table.
Thank you, Chair and Committee. I'm Eric Mosca, representing Assembly District 14 in East Las Vegas, and I'm also proud to be the first ever Filipino to represent in our Nevada State Legislature. Briefly, Assembly Bill 472 ensures that our J1 visa holder teachers have protections when they come to Nevada to teach, from Mineral to Clark, as they support our hard-to-fill positions in the state. I worked on this policy last session. It became a study in the interim, and we're excited to be here today. Given our economic climate and in order to remove the fiscal note, you will see the amendment on your desk today that removes all of Section 3, which is the match grant program through the Nevada Department of Education. Therefore, removing this section, we have removed the fiscal note from the bill and did receive an email confirmation from NDE that this would remove the fiscal note. And we do have a representative from MDE here today who can answer any questions. So thank you to our J1 visa teachers, the largest sending country from the Philippines, CCEA, and everyone who has helped work on this policy for many, many years, even before I was in this body. So thank you, Chair and Committee, for considering.
Thank you so much for presenting Assembly Bill 472, and you said that there's someone in the room to testify to the removal of the fiscal note on this measure. Good afternoon again.
Steve Canvero, Interim State Superintendent, Public Instruction. Madam Chair, members of the committee, that is accurate. The Department of Education has removed its fiscal note.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for either the bill sponsor or her phone a friend? Not seeing any. Thank you so much. Then we'll invite to the table anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 472.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. Daniel Stewart, DANIEL-STWART, here on behalf of CCA. I want to express our strong support for this bill and the sponsor. You should have 4 letters of support that were put as part of Nellis as well. Our J1 teachers are increasingly becoming a backbone of the Clark County School District. We're measuring them now in the hundreds, and this bill will help protect them and allow them to continue to provide excellent services to our kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Nathaniel Wall, Clark County School District. CCSD is here to echo CCEA on this one, and we thank the sponsor for her work. Thank you.
Tom Clark here on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards. I'm going to echo the echo. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Mary Brzezinski here representing the Nevada Association of School Superintendents. We're in support of this bill. We have J1s in Mineral County, and a lot of people wouldn't expect that, but they're becoming more and more important. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City to testify in support, and not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 472.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 472, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support.
Thank you so much. And we will move to opposition. If we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 472, I invite you to the table here in Carson City and in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we will go back to our phone lines once more and see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 472.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 472, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much, and we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 472, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if anyone has joined us to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 472.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 472, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. We'll ask the sponsor, who's shaking her head no, for closing comments. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 472. And we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 494, which revises provisions relating to education. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. I'm Assemblymember Selena Torres Fawcett, representing Assembly District 3, and today I'm here to present AB 494 in its first reprint for your consideration. Federal laws such as the IDEA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, HIPAA, and Title IV of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Title IV of the Education Amendments of 1972, and the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, as recently reauthorized in the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, provides foundational protections for our students across the country. These laws safeguard the rights of students with disabilities, they ensure the privacy of educational and health records, and prohibit discrimination based on color, national origin, race, and sex. However, in an era of shifting federal policies, we cannot take these protections for granted. AB 494 establishes a safeguard by enshrining these protections into state law should they ever be repealed. It also grants the Nevada Department of Education the power to adopt regulations necessary in order to implement these laws at the state level. There is an amendment on your desk today. Thanks to NDE's ongoing collaboration regarding this bill, we have worked with the department to propose an amendment that would remove the fiscal note, which I will now go over. The amendment stipulates that should these federal laws be repealed or amended in such a way that the integrity of the act is no longer preserved, NDE will collaborate with the necessary entities to present the legislature and the Interim Finance Committee a report detailing what funding is available to continue serving students without interruption or reductions in services. As many of you know, at the federal level, there has been a discussion of administering block grants to state to ensure that we are providing students with education services. And so this would require that we are considering how we are going to implement that funding by reviewing those laws and those necessary parameters. Should the legislature IFC allocate such funding, NDE will analyze how the federal law's provisions can be transferred to the state statute and assess further financial impact. Then NDE will present these findings to the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Education to identify details for a possible BDR in the next legislative session. NDE will still be empowered to develop any necessary emergency regulations relating to these repealed or amended federal laws to be effective through the signing day of the next legislative session. At this time, I am open for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the bill. If we can have NDE come to the table to speak to the change in the fiscal note, because it was a rather large fiscal note.
And I will note that Senator Neal came because she is also in support. Thank you, Senator.
Steve Canvero, still the Interim State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Madam Chair and members of the committee, yes, thank you so much to the sponsor of the bill for working with us and finding a solution. We do receive a substantial amount of federal funding to enact these areas of federal law, and working with the sponsor, I think we found a solution that enabled us to remove the fiscal note, not asking to replace those federal dollars, but installing a process that we could go through with you in the interim if, in fact, those federal programs or those federal laws are to cease.
Perfect, thank you. Members, any questions? All right, not seeing any. You can go ahead and take a step back and we'll invite to the table anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 494. Good afternoon again. I guess I should say evening now. It's after 5.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Mary Przinski, here representing Nevada Association of School Superintendents, and we would certainly welcome a good process to replace some of that IDEA money should we lose it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City, and no one at the table in Las Vegas. Do we have anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 494?
If you would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 494, please press star 9 now to join the queue.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Stephen Cohen for the record. I'll follow the rules of the last week, and I'll thank you.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
Chair, there are no additional callers to provide support testimony.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 494, I invite you to the table. And not seeing anyone approach the tables here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines again to see if we have anyone who would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 494.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 494, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, there are no callers choosing to provide opposition testimony.
Thank you. We will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 494, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the tables here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 494.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 494, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers choosing to provide neutral testimony.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the sponsor of the bill if there's any closing comments. She's shaking her head no. So with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 494. And with that, we'll open the hearing for the next bill that we will be hearing. It's Assembly Bill 328, which creates a subcommittee to study and develop policy recommendations for African Americans of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Education to conduct a study during the 25-26 interim. And welcome Assembly Member De Silva and Senator Neal to the table. Good evening.
Good evening, committee, chair and vice chair. My name is Ruben De Silva, for the record, representing Assembly District 28. And this bill creates a subcommittee to study and develop policy recommendations for African Americans of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Education to conduct a study during the 2025-2026 interim. There's an amendment that's been added as well, and I'm going to have Senator Neal discuss the amendment. But we, in the original drafting of the bill, we did receive a $594,968 fiscal note from NSHE, but that has been removed through the amendatory process. And Senator Neal?
Thank you. Senator Neal, for the record. So the new amendment adds a new section 4.5, basically adding a Juneteenth Educational Economic Commission. So this was language that actually Assemblymember Gonzalez had last session, but it didn't move, probably for many other reasons. But it was represented from a Juneteenth committee, and I had asked him to add it because I wasn't available to have special legislation on my side because I was out for 2 months. And so the additional amendment does not add a fiscal note, but it basically says where there are existing Juneteenth celebrations, that to the extent feasible and possible at the local government, that the commission be able to go in and talk about annual funding. So it doesn't have any impact to the state, but it would just tie into anything that's currently happening. And then it just invokes, I placed it under NRS 293-560, which is where we created the state holiday.
And with that, Chair, we're ready for questions.
So the bill that we have before us is the first reprint. Was it in the original bill or in the amended version that there is a per diem for non-legislative members? And if that is so, how is that supported?
Are we, the Senator Neal, for the record, are we talking about in the new section or his original?
I believe in the first reprint, or it may have been in the original bill, that there was a per diem that would be supported for non-legislative members. And then, you know, my question would be, was that funding going to be needed by LCB and to staff for the study?
Yeah, I believe that was removed, Chair, from after the amendment was put in place. So the bill originally had NSHE conducting the study, and there were professors and other appointed individuals who could serve as commission members. But by removing NSHE, we were able to alleviate the fiscal note. Yeah, and, oh, I'm sorry.
One moment, I just want to make sure I find this section. So on page 2 of the first reprint, in section 1, line 12, the two members that were supposed to represent the president of the University of Reno and his designee, those have been removed. And the representative, if you go up to line 9, the representative from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, those have been removed in your amended that you're presenting today?
No, Chair, they're still supposed to be part of the actual commission.
So will they be compensated with a per diem? And then if you go to page 3, line 13, the legislators would be receive a per diem, with the non-legislative members on this study also receive a per diem. That was my question.
Yes, Chair. So I was informed by LCB when I first looked at removing this committee from NSHE and making it part of a subcommittee on of the Joint Interim Committee on Education that the funding would already be there for those purposes.
Okay. Members, any other questions? Assemblymember Bacchus.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this and make sure we're all good. These are going to be two separate commissions, right? The first one in the bill is not getting changed. That's going to stay as is. And the amendment is going to create one for just for the Juneteenth.
Senator Neal, for the record, that is correct. And it's not going to show up under the Education Subcommittee. It was just an open chapter we're trying to create.
Okay, members, any other questions? Right, not seeing any. I thank you so much for the presentation. I'll just ask you to step back and we will call to the table anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 328. Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas. We'll go to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 328.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 328, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Doug Unger, D-O-U-G, UNGER, UNLV Chapter President, Nevada Faculty Alliance. The latest amended version of AB 328 now creates an interim study and a Juneteenth commission, both to educate the public about the meaning and significance of the legacy of slavery. As this bill has been shape-shifted through the amendment process, we believe its intention is still retained, to acknowledge that African Americans nationally and in Nevada have been historically and systematically discriminated against and underserved, and still carry the generational trauma and burden of the crime of slavery and its legacy of oppression. We live in a not so long ago unimaginable era when, in some states, the slave narratives of Frederick Douglass, Harriet Jacobs, William Wells Brown, and the Federal Writers Project are being ripped from school shelves by racist ideologues who seek to hide history and the truth. The same is happening with the literature of Richard Wright, James Baldwin, Toni Morrison, and Alice Walker, and contemporaries Ta-Nehisi Coates, Ibram X. Kendi, and others. In this sad era when truth is every day erased, AB 328, if implemented as intended, should be a positive effort toward its preservation. The Nevada Faculty Alliance stands in support and in solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
If you have recently joined the call and would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 328, please press star 9 to unmute to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no additional callers.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 328, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go again to our phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 328.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 328, please press star 9 to join the queue.
Good evening, Chairman Moreno and committee. My name is Jim DeGraffenreid, JIMDEGRAFFENREID. I'm Nevada's Republican National Committeeman, here today in opposition to AB 328. Our platform states that we, the people of the Nevada Republican Party, affirm that this nation and this state were founded on the principle that all people are created equal, that the powers of government as outlined in the Constitution exist to protect the people's God-given right to be free and choose their own pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness without regard to race, gender, religion, country of origin, or sexual orientation. This bill replaces a 9-member commission under NSHE with a larger 10-member subcommittee of an interim legislative committee, including 4 legislators, and eliminates a member selected by the governor. No fiscal note is provided, although NSHE estimated the smaller commission would cost almost $600,000. A larger commission with 4 members being paid a daily stipend on top of per diem and travel for all members will certainly cost more. That is an excessively steep price to pay for a commission to study something that Nevadans have rejected throughout our history. Section 2 of AB 328 asks the commission to study slavery. even though we're proud that slavery has always been outlawed in Nevada. In September of 1864, the people of the territory of Nevada approved our first constitution, which said, first, there shall never be in this state neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, otherwise than in punishment for crimes whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. As we know by a wide majority in the 2024 election, Nevadans approved the removal of this archaic language about punishment for crimes, meaning that slavery and involuntary servitude are absolutely unconstitutional in Nevada. Section 2 of the bill references restitution recommendations. However, there has never been slavery in Nevada, and nationally there are no longer any living persons who were either slaves or slaveholders. Causing people who are not responsible for slavery to pay damages to other people who are not victims of slavery flies in the face of Americans' belief in personal responsibility. The Nevada Republican Party opposes wasting taxpayer dollars on a study that has no application to the people of Nevada, and we respectfully ask you to reject AB 328. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller.
Caller with the last three digits, 504, please press star 6 to unmute.
For the record, my name is Tanya Freeman. I object to this bill based on the 1864-1865 Emancipation Proclamation, where also all of the freed slaves were given property and rights in this country. This bill should not be passed. It should be rejected totally by both sides. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Chapman, Lynnchapman, and I'm the state vice chair of Nevada Families for Freedom. We don't seem to have an educational and economic commission for, let's say, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. Those holidays are the ones that include everyone, not just a small amount of people. And how much money is given toward other holidays to learn why we celebrate them, what sacrifices were made, and how much money is spent teaching our children about our American heritage and culture? Not really very much. We do have to remember that slavery was outlawed, and it never really happened in the state of Nevada. We are very concerned about the two separate committees, the annual funding and interim committee costs, per diem costs. There's money involved, and I don't think that the people of Nevada really want to have this bill passed. I looked on the opinions, and there was 95% of the people that did the opinions opposed this bill. Please do not pass this bill. Vote no on AB 328. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
Chair, there are no additional callers in opposition.
Thank you so much. We'll move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 328, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 328.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 328, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much, and I'd like to call the sponsors of the bill back to the table. Thank you. I appreciate you moving this to the interim committee, because with the interim standing committee, there's already in the LCB budget for 6 studies, so this would not have any additional financial implications to the general fund or the LCB budget. I did have a question for, is there any anticipated cost to administer the proposed Juneteenth Educational and Economic Commission? Or would there be a different funding stream?
Thank you for the question, Senator Neal. For the record, no, I shifted away from the state.
Thank you so much. And being that I'm a black woman in America, I'd say there are still some descendants of slavery because I know my family. I went through the 23andMe and found out where I came from, and they were on the bottom of a boat in chains, forced to come here. So thank you for this bill. And knowing that I'm a mom and a grandma and our history's being taken out of history books in schools, it's kind of time for us to make sure that everyone knows the history of everyone in this country. We are a country that was built by immigrants, and if you're not Native American, we need to learn about everyone's history. So thank you for bringing this bill. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 328. We will move on to the next bill on our agenda, and we'll open the hearing for Assembly Bill 284. 284 requires the Director of the Department of Health and Human Services to seek to establish certain rates of reimbursement under Medicaid for certain devices to treat epilepsy. And we will welcome Assembly Member Brown May to the table.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Tracy Brown May. I proudly represent Nevada Assembly District 42, and I'm very pleased to be here this evening to present this appropriation request. There is a revised amendment that you should have on your desks, a memorandum for AB 284, which also helped us to revise the fiscal note on this. This is a vagus nerve therapy device that is implanted into a person who is diagnosed with medication-resistant epilepsy. So this bill did not receive a policy. Did it receive a policy hearing? Yes, we had a policy hearing, and we are now here in front of you for the fiscal. And so this is revised fiscal. Updated would be $54,728 in new general fund costs for Medicaid for FY26 and $240,004 in fiscal year 27, and would bring in $888,000 when paired with Title 19 funds for the 26-27 biennium. This is, while a fiscal is on this bill, it is for drug-resistant epilepsy, and the cost of a common anti-epilepsy drug ranges from $2,295 to $5,000 a month. And then after an initial surgery with periodic device replacement every few years, the equivalent monthly cost for this implementation is $625 a month. With that, I'm happy to stand for questions.
Thank you so much. My first question would be, the amendment you referenced, is it the amendment dated May 16th?
Tracy Brown Ray, for the record, that is correct, Chair. Amendment May 16 from Stacy Weeks, our administrator, who is also here in the room.
Thank you. And if we could, if I could invite Ms. Weeks to the table to speak to the amended version and the fiscal note.
Chair, committee members, Stacy Weeks for the record, Nevada Medicaid. The amendment that was proposed to us from the folks working on this bill would actually decouple the reimbursement in a way that we're able to pay for the device as well as the procedure. Both are quite expensive. And today, the payment structure does not really work in a way that hospitals actually offer it. And so this would help us better pay for it and compensate those that do provide this service. The bill was amended to delay the effective date to March 1st, 2026, which does really impact the fiscal note and kind of pushes some of those costs down. But honestly, it will take us probably that long with CMS, so it's not actually out of the realm of reality right now. So thank you.
Thank you. Members, questions? So Assembly Member Brown May, you testified that there will be an ongoing monthly cost. That ongoing monthly cost, would that be needed to be paid through Medicaid? or would the patient with the device be paying that?
Thank you, Chair, for the question. Tracy Brown May. It was simply a comparison of what the equivalent monthly cost of the implementation. So if we put this implant in and we amortize the cost over a period of time, it would equate to the $625 a month versus what the medication is required currently for epilepsy. So to give you, it looks like a very big investment to do this implant. If you're not taking the medication, then it really sort of balances out it would be cheaper for a person who has drug-resistant epilepsy.
The implant would be much cheaper to the cost than medication.
Correct.
Perfect. Members, any other questions? Yes, Assemblyman Conan.
Thank you, Chair. Do you have a ballpark guesstimate of how many people in the state would be covered under this?
Chair, committee member Stacy Weeks for the record. I do not have that with me, but I do know it isn't very many, and I think that's sort of why it hasn't been addressed over the years. But for Medicaid, it's a pretty high price, so having it actually covered and funded is helpful for us in case there are more people than we anticipate.
Tracy Brown May for the record. Thank you. I do actually have it in my notes. In 2022, there were total implants of 26. Traditional Medicaid funded 19 of them. Managed care organizations funded 7. Of the new implants, though, in 2022, there were 10, and replacements were 16. So we do have a number of folks in the state that currently have this implant. It was once covered by Medicaid. When we pulled Medicaid back, when we went into recession and we needed to pull back, this came off of our Medicaid plan. And so we do have people who have implants in our state currently that require maintenance. We don't have it currently covered under Medicaid. So this will help them get that addressed. So you need like a battery replacement over a period of time. We did have a case last session or the session before where we did not have it covered, and the Medicaid division had to go through a couple of hoops in order to get it covered.
Thank you for that. Not seeing any follow-ups or any other questions from any other members. I thank you so much for bringing the bill and ask you to step back, and we will invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 284. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 284.
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 284, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support testimony.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. Do we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 284? Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines again to see if we have anyone who's joined us that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 284.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 284, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition testimony.
Thank you so much, and we'll move to neutral. If we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 284, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we will go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 284.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 284, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much. We will ask the sponsor of the bill if she has any closing remarks, and she is shaking her head no, so we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 284. And the sponsor of the bill for Assembly Bill 331 is also Assembly Member Brown May, so we will invite her back to the table. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 331 which makes appropriations to the Department of Health and Human Services for a grant program to expand the biennial survey administered pursuant to the Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System developed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of the United States Department of Health and Human Services.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Tracy Brown May for the record. Very excited to be here. I think this is my last bill presentation in front of this committee. Thank you so much. Well, maybe not, actually. Assembly Bill 331 is really an exciting bill for me. It is about the youth behavioral risk assessment, which is super important. It is an appropriations request for each fiscal year, $220,000 in 25-26, and then 26-27, another $220,000. I have with me Sheila Bray, who is with the University of Nevada, Reno, and has worked very closely on this piece. And she's going to talk through the ROI, which is why we want to invest in this.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Ways.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee, and thank you to Assembly Member Brown May for bringing forth this bill. So just a little bit of background on what the YRBS is, and that stands for Youth Behavioral Risk Survey. So it's a national biennial anonymous voluntary survey that is conducted through students that are 9th through 12th grade. And the CDC provides funding for students in 36 of our 105 Nevada high schools. Because of this limited pool, high schools included in the federally funded survey, the survey has been expanded to additional high schools and to middle school students in past years through some help and expanded funding from the Division of Public and Behavioral Health within the Department of Health and Human Services. So this expansion has allowed us to go in 2023 to 121 middle schools and 99 high schools with over 12,000 student responses, making Nevada the second highest response rate in the country. This funding, however, for this expanded portion is not confirmed due to unpredictability in federal funding. Just this past March, over $57,000 in federal pass-through funding was terminated, and so that really threatens our ability to be able to complete this survey. So this survey not only asks for this funding back or these surveys back from students, but it's also used by numerous government agencies, community-based organizations to address youth violence, mental health, substance abuse, chronic disease, and more. Just in FY 2024, we had seen over $36 million come back to the state from grants that relied heavily on this data. So this is kind of the overview and why we're asking for this allocation for this additional funding over the biennium. And thank you.
Thank you. Tracy Brown May for the record. So as you can see, the return on the investment here is significant, and this bill will allow us to go out to tribal schools so that we can be more inclusive, and all of our middle school students will have an opportunity to be assessed and weigh in, which can then help us build better healthcare systems for behavioral and mental health throughout our entire state. Thank you. We're happy to stand for questions.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for bringing this bill and working together on this. I appreciate the amendment. Members, do you have any questions? Other than just the general fund appropriation that is requested in the piece of legislation, there are no other fiscal notes on this bill. Assembly Member Bacchus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I take it just this amount was not appropriated in the governor's executive budget, so it's something that we would need to make sure is appropriated in this bill, which it looks like it is set forth herein.
Tracy Brown May for the record. Thank you for the question. That is correct. We did not bring this forward to the governor for his consideration during GovRec or during that process. This was a conversation that Ms. Bray and I had during the interim as a way that we could build out the assessment to include all middle schools throughout the state.
Members, any other questions? Not seeing any. Thank you so much. We will invite to the table anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 331. Good evening. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. Good evening, and thank you for the record. Patricia Charlton, Chancellor, Nevada System of Higher Education. We want to thank Assemblymember Brown May for bringing forward this bill that strengthens public health research capacity in Nevada, and urge your support of AB 331.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good evening, Chair Monroe Moreno. For the record, my name is Joelle Gutman Dodson, representing Northern Nevada Public Health today. We are in strong support of funding the YBRS. It's an important appropriation for public health throughout the state. The YBRS helps us target our efforts to address issues like youth vaping, substance abuse, chronic disease, and sexually transmitted diseases. And just one quick example of how Washoe County used it. This past year, we utilized the YBRS data by linking Washoe County middle school responses with the Area Deprivation Index, the ADI, to identify the most underserved areas. This analysis helped determine optimal locations for establishing a new family resource center to better support our families and students in need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Sarah Adler, representing the Charter School Coalition of Northern Nevada. So we're excited about this because the expansion funding would allow charter schools to be surveyed as well. And just want to share with you that in my work this session on AB 205 with Assemblymember Goulding, we learned that there is, frankly, a whole lot of sex going on throughout our state, especially in rural Nevada within our youth, and a whole lot of unprotected. And so this YRBS is very important in identifying for many communities our most at-risk youth. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Carrie Harrington. I'm the Executive Director with Nevada Cancer Coalition. We too rely on this data. It helps us immensely in working to reduce the burden of cancer, and definitely for our youth, gives us information on tobacco and vape initiation and use. So we definitely support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good evening, Chair and committee members. For the record, Logan Caton, Cayton, testifying in support on behalf of the Southern Nevada Health District. SNHD supports the appropriation for the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, or YRBS, because it provides critical data to guide and strengthen youth-focused public health efforts. For example, YRBS data has allowed us to identify rising middle school vaping trends and respond with targeted school-based and digital counter-marketing campaigns. We also rely on YRBS indicators to track progress on chronic disease prevention, inform grant applications, and share data with the community through our Healthy Southern Nevada Health Board. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Mary Brzezinski, here representing Nevada Association of School Superintendents, and we have done the YRBS for many years in our schools, and the information that is gleaned is helpful, especially as we try to involve our communities and wraparound services for our students. So thank you. We're in support.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good evening, Chair and Committee. My name is still Sabrina Schnur, Sabrina Schnur, and I'm still here on behalf of the Nevada Public Health Association, and we did the previous comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone joining us that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 331.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 331, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. Is there anyone here that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 331? Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go back to the phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 331.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 331, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We will move to neutral. Do we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 331? Not seeing anyone here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go one last time to the phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 331.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 331, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the sponsor of the bill, who's shaking her head no, so we will have no closing remarks, and we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 331. And next, we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 463, which revises provisions relating to prior authorizations, and invite Vice Chair Bacchus to the table.
Good evening. I think we're at evening now. So good evening, Chair Monroe Marino, and definitely the hardest working committee on Ways and Means. It is my pleasure to present the fiscal impact portion of Assembly Bill 463. 463 addresses prior authorizations. This bill had been previously introduced in Commerce and Labor, and having like lots of support and testimony, I try to taper that down to just hopefully make this hearing go by smoothly. But a lot of work has been done. Even today, I was able to reach a subsequent a way to make this work even in private insurance, where it wouldn't impact the private insurers as harshly. So in front of you, you were handed out an additional amendment that is at 3:45 p.m. It is supposed to be 2 pages, but part of it looks like it's 3 pages, but it is kind of redundant. And so with many of those changes, a majority of them were done through working with Medicaid in order to reduce their fiscal note. And I had sent over to the chair with the proposed amendments, and we actually changed one even further down, which I'm sure still will work with our director. But with that removed the fiscal note for Medicaid. There is a PEB note that was also in there, and a lot of it pertained to timelines. And I don't know if someone is here from PEB. We were trying to get a final answer, but with the holiday weekend, it was kind of hard, but we understood. One point I would make, regardless whether or not well, let me make the point. The language we have in our bill aligns also with what's in SB 495, which is the governor's bill on health care with respect to some of those concerning provisions. So hopefully it would be included in there, but also we did change our timelines that were raised a concern. Also, there were various fiscal notes associated with maybe our counties and other localities. And when I did my first amendment coming out of a committee, it was intended that we could address their fiscal notes by eliminating Section 30 and not making that applicable. The intent of the bill was not to extend to local government self-funded plans or health trusts maintained by any labor union. So with that, and I kept my word, that was an amendment I was going to do early on. It just didn't make its way to reprint one. So I've kind of put it in here to bullet point that. And I think I've touched on most of those, but I stand ready to answer any questions the chair may have.
Thank you, and we have just a few amendments. So should we go with the amendment dated today at 3:45 p.m.? That's the final amendment.
The final amendment, it was going to be even shorter. I was so proud. I thought myself I would have it longer, but the extra page just copied over because we were cutting and pasting stuff, so it's duplicative. It's really just the front and back, so it's like only down to a page and a half. Lots of deleted sections.
Thank you so much. Members, questions? There's been a lot deleted from the bill in its original form and even from this morning. So if I could have those that had submitted fiscal notes on the bill to come to the table just to testify to their fiscal notes. I don't believe Peb is here, but I know DHHS is here. And I'm not sure if anyone's here from business and industry. Good evening now.
Good evening, Chair, committee member Stacy Weeks for the record. Yes, we are aware of some of the language and the conceptual amendment in front of you. At this time, based on what we think the intent of the amendment is, obviously the devil's in the details with this type of these changes. But right now, we do believe that we can remove our fiscal note and absorb any costs that might be minimal to the division.
Thank you so much. I don't see any.
Chair, if I can jump in, that was one fiscal night I forgot, maybe because it was an easy one. Department of Business and Industry had submitted an unsolicited fiscal note that removed their fiscal note.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if we could reach out to PEB tomorrow, because they may not be in today, if we could reach out to them tomorrow to see what they'd like to do with their fiscal note, we could add that to the folder for this bill. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 463? Not seeing any, I'll ask you to step back and we will invite to the table anyone that is here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 463. Good evening.
Good evening now. This is Chase Gonfantini, for the record Gonfantini, on behalf of Comprehensive Cancer Centers in support of AB 463. We'd like to thank Assemblymember Backus for bringing this important piece of legislation forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My notes said good morning, but obviously not anymore. Thank you, Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the Assembly Ways and Means Committee. My name is Jacqueline Nguyen, Nguyen, representing the Nevada State Medical Association, the largest and oldest organization representing physicians in our state. We are pleased to share, as Stacy Weeks has said, that with the memo from them dated May 21st, 2025, that we did get those fiscal notes down to zero. I know there was a lot of amendments today, but we just we don't think that those would affect that fiscal note, but we're going to keep those lines of communications open to make sure that all their concerns are addressed. I wanted to say on the record that we deeply appreciate their partnership and steadfast commitment to advancing patient-focused care without additional costs to the state. Additionally, we've worked really diligently with stakeholders and are pleased to report that we think we've reached common ground. We believe that opposition for the bill has been resolved. AB 463 is meaningful. It's a meaningful win for patients. The bill addresses specific high-impact areas such as treatment for substance use disorder, preventative care in women's health, where prior authorization requirements can cause harmful delays with serious consequences. Removing prior authorization for essential items like diabetes test strips is a thoughtful, targeted step that will have a real, tangible impact on patients' daily lives. While this legislation is narrowly tailored, its effect will be substantial, reducing administrative burdens and helping patients access timely care. With too few providers in our state and too many patients waiting, Nevada simply cannot afford to spend limited clinical resources on avoidable bureaucracy. We extend our thanks to Assemblymember Backus for carrying the bill and to all stakeholders for working with us to make a difference for patients. And thank you again to this body for hearing this bill and for your ongoing support.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City to testify in support, and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 463.
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 463, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support testimony. Oh. My apologies. One moment.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Stephen Cohen for the record. Thank you. I yield.
Was that you, Mr. Cohen, Stephen Cohen, on the line? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Next caller?
Chair, we have no additional callers for support testimony.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. If there's anyone here in Carson City that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 463, I invite you to the table. And not seeing anyone come to the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone who's joined us that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 463.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 463, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition testimony.
Thank you so much. We'll move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 463, I invite you to the table. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good to see you, Trey Abney, T-R-A-Y-A-B-N-E-Y, here today representing America's Health Insurance Plans, otherwise known as AHIP. When I signed in at 8 a.m. this morning, I signed in as opposed. What a difference a day makes. So appreciate the sponsor working with us, and we are now neutral. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, my name is Helen Foley, and today I'm representing Delta Dental. I really thank the author of this bill for working so diligently with all of us to have us come up in neutral, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Chair Monroe Moreno, for the record, Shelley Capurro, representing the Nevada Association of Health Plans. And we are wanting to thank the sponsor and the stakeholders for working diligently with us up into the last few minutes of this hearing. And we are now in neutral, and we feel that the bill reaches a balance of both, safety and affordability, and while at the same time minimizing the fiscal impact to our commercial carriers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can go ahead.
For the record, Ryan Beeman, representing the professional firefighters of Nevada. I want to say thank you to the Assembly member for working with us. As she stated earlier, part of the amendment did not get into the first reprint. She has been working with us on the policy side, and just want to say that thank you for supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members coming, Paul Young with Farm School Care Managers Association. Similar to Trey Abney, signed in opposition this morning and now in neutral. So thank you, and I appreciate the Assembly member working with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Chair Monroe Romano and members of the committee, my name is Ashley Kennedy, representing Clark County. I just wanted to testify in neutral today, especially in regards to our fiscal note, with the amendment that was originally discussed in the policy committee that will be addressed in this amendment presented today, removing Section 30, which is applicable to the self-funded health plans. Our fiscal note can be removed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good evening, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, excuse me, David Cherry, Government Affairs Manager for the City of Henderson. Just want to say it's been worth the wait to tell you that our fiscal note as well has been removed. As local government, we offer a self-insurance plan that insures more than 3,000 of our city employees. So we appreciate the sponsor working with us. Also just want to recognize all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice on this Memorial Day, and thank you all for the work that you've put in today to move this along.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Adam Plain, P-L-A-I-N, with the Nevada Division of Insurance. Just wanted to say that we had initially put a fiscal note on AB 463 as printed. We removed it under reprint 1. I will know with certainty in about 12 hours when my health staff starts to funnel into the office tomorrow. But looking at the proposed amendment, I do believe that would not trigger a new fiscal note. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You can go ahead.
Good evening, Chair Monroe Moreno, members of the committee. For the record, Cadence Matijevich, C-A-D-E-N-C-E-M-A-T-I-J-E-V-I-C-H, representing Washoe County. A ditto to the comments from my colleagues from other local governments. We appreciate the sponsor working with all of us and with the amendment presented today that confirms removal of our self-funded employee plan. We no longer have a fiscal note. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone who's joined us that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 463.
Thank you, Chair. We have no callers to provide neutral testimony.
Thank you for that. And we will ask the sponsor of the bill, who is shaking her head no, so we will have no closing comments. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 463. And that brings us to our very last bill on our agenda for the day. And we'll ask the sponsor of Assembly Bill 274 if you'd like to present Assembly Bill 274. Assemblyman O'Neill? And with that, we'll open the hearing for Assembly Bill 274 as a measure that requires the waiver of certain fees for certain businesses relating to veterans.
Thank you, Chair. Chair and committee members, I'm Assemblyman P.K. O'Neill. I represent Assembly District 40. I have before you today Assembly Bill 274, which, without going into the policy, deals with veterans who have retired, 20 years service, veterans who are fully medically retired and receiving their DOD 100% disability. And for a member, there is an amendment before you that's a friendly amendment that so which meaning one member of the Gold Star family can attain for the first 3 years exemptions from the Secretary of State's business licensing. There's also another amendment that has been proposed that is difficult to accept because it removes the 20-year veterans and those DOD 100% retired veterans. Particularly on a day like today, I want to include all. And unfortunately, though, it does bring forth a fiscal note from, I'm bringing it up, excuse me, from the Secretary of State's office of approximately $339,000 and change in the first year and $376,997,000 in the second year on negative effect on our revenue. And with that, I'll stand open for questions, Chair.
Thank you so much. I see the amendment for the one natural person who's also a Gold Star family member. I don't have a, okay. We'll find it, the second amendment. But I'll go to members. Are there any questions? Assembly Member Watts?
Thank you, Chair. So is this amendment really just a clarifying amendment then? This doesn't have an effect on the existing fiscal note?
You P.K. O'Neill again, Assembly Member Watts, you're talking about the friendly amendment that just is the...
I'm talking about the amendment that you proposed.
Yes, it's a clarifying. That was the original intent in the bill initially. There was some confusion over it, so we went and added that one little letter or word.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. And so with the Secretary of State's fiscal note, it states that it would have a negative impact on the general fund. There's also a fiscal note from the Department of Education, which doesn't really make sense, but there is one. And I don't see the Department of Education still here in the room to speak to that. And I know that the person from the Secretary of State's office was here with us all day long and they had to step out. So we'll have to ask them if there's any effect with the two amendments as presented today. if it would have any impact on their fiscal note, so we'll have to get that. So there is one fiscal note that was submitted by you, another that I know that Assembly Member Bacchus has been working with you on. Are both amendments to be accepted or just the shorter one?
Chair, I wasn't aware of the other amendment that's presented by Vice Chair Bacchus until earlier this morning, and I attempted to have some conversations, or we had some conversations, which I couldn't agree to the amendment.
Thank you so much. I will put that on this amendment.
And Chair, PK O'Neill, again, for the record, Chair, if you may, I haven't seen the one from Education.
The fiscal note that.
Yeah, I
It was-
apologize.
Because it was placed in the folder by mistake. It's for Senate Bill 274, not Assembly Bill 274.
You know, I'm
So,
pedaling
we will
upstream
just
bad enough, Chair,
Get rid of
please.
that one. Yes, thank you. All right, so not seeing any other questions for members. Thank you so much for presenting the bill, and we will invite to the table anyone that's here in support of Assembly Bill, not Senate Bill 274. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair, members of the committee. Again, for the record, my name is Taylor Avery, and I am the Manager of Political Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber is in support of the fiscal policy of this bill and the many veterans that are small business owners in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Chair and committee members, for the record, my name is Andrew Lee Pilbit. I'm the chairman of the United Veterans Legislative Council, representing 250,000 veterans in our state. We're in favor of this bill with the friendly amendment. We do have a concern about the fiscal note in that there's only 57 dead veterans in the last 25 years from wars in northern Nevada. So it's a little hard to understand how you can get a fiscal note that far out of whack. But we support the bill in the friendly amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else coming to the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 274.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 274, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Chapman, LYNNCHAPMAN, and I'm a 50-year member of the American Legion Auxiliary. And I have known many veterans and their families, and I have known a number of Gold Star families. All the sacrifices made by all the families should be taken into account for what is being asked for in this bill. After all, without their sacrifices, we would not have our freedoms that we all enjoy today. We seem to have enough money for all sorts of people and all the different projects and committees and everything else, so why not include the very people who made it all possible for the rest of us? On the amendments, the friendly amendment, adding the one member for the Gold Star family amendment is a yes. But the second amendment is a no-go. So please vote yes on SB 274 with amendment number 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next caller.
Chair, we have no additional callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 274. Not seeing anyone approach to the table here in Las Vegas, in Carson City or in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone line again and see if there's anyone joining us that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 274.
Testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 274, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We'll move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 274, I invite you to the table. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to the phone lines one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 274.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 274, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers in neutral.
Thank you so much. And we'll invite the sponsor of the bill back to the table. And I think it's important for callers to know, I think we've heard it a few times today about our responsibility to our vets. And I know that every member on this dais appreciates the sacrifices that are made by everyone who puts a uniform on, and especially those that died in the line of duty. And because of that, this legislative body has approved a number of measures over every session that I have been here to the tune of just over $100 million in abatements annually to our veterans, because we understand the importance of our veterans. You can go ahead with your closing comment.
And I appreciate that. Thank you, Chair. P.K. O'Neill for the record. And I want to say, I could deal and talk to you all about the emotional part of supporting veterans, especially those who did the 20 years or are 100% disabled, the families who gave up their brother, sisters, mother or father. But I think Chair did best in summary on that. But what I would like to say is, getting back to the fiscal note, is the Secretary of State did a rough guessing on their fiscal note and basically said this would be the worst case scenario that they're projecting, would be the loss of revenue of $376,997 in the upcoming fiscal year, and then on future bienniums of $882,963. And so that's the part that I would like to stress. You took care of the other part for me, Chair, and I appreciate that. But as I said, that's the worst they have basically projected on this. So thank you.
Thank you. And if you could work on getting an updated fiscal from the Secretary of State's office with the amendment, that would be great to add to this folder. And with that, members, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 274. And that was our last bill. We did plan to do work session again. However, we need to get to the floor. So if you were here for a work session, I'll let everyone know we will start tomorrow's agenda with the work session before we move into our regular agenda. Members, dinner is served in the conference room. But before you can go to dinner, we have to have public comment. So if there's anyone that's still with us for public comment, that number to call in is 669-900-6833. The meeting ID is 824-860-94023. And then please press pound. If we have anyone that's in the room that would like to provide public comment, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City, and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line one last time to see if we have anyone joining us that would like to provide public comment at this time.
If you would like to provide public comment, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, our phone lines are open and working. However, we have no callers choosing to provide public comment.
Thank you so much, members. I know everyone else gets the day off to celebrate Memorial Day. We do not. We're doing the Lord's work in the people's house, so I appreciate those that joined us, your patience on a holiday to be here. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.